Bring it on up.
No, I'm not
bring it
here.
on up. No, don't do that.
Didn't you say you were going to adjust some bitrate or something? Oh, okay.
See if it all crashes.
You can leave that over here.
No, we're breaking continuity, remember?
Oh, that's right. I gotta go get a different drink and stuff. Oh no, I need a pick. That's right. I was gonna do that, wasn't I? I got Alan's pick lined up. Let's see. Let's see if Jeremy's around. Oh, he's only left work 14 minutes ago. I don't know how long it takes him to get to home. Probably more than 14 minutes. Are you all right? Josh was already on a call. How did we... It closed the call? No. Even Microsoft wouldn't do that.
I just support having multiple.
How do I... How do I increase appearance? Yes, I would like.
Also, Alan first. Oh, yeah, sorry. I was holding the mute button because I'm eating a snack.
What's my
/
pick of the
dinner.
week? Trying to figure out my pick of the week. What Lenovo X1 Carbon?
Yeah, I don't have a pick. This is disheartening.
Can they hear us?
Okay. Oh God, they can hear us.
So if we don't have Jeremy, I mean, I guess I didn't realize Jeremy wasn't going to make it for the 10 o'clock either. I would have got like Sebastian on here or something like that.
Let's give it a couple minutes. We're gonna have a short podcast live because we spent a half hour talking before.
Yeah, we're going to start sending out these email campaigns earlier. It just finished at 9:58.
Josh?
Hey, Josh, you're back.
Oh, there you are. Sorry about that.
We may be just us again.
Wait, are we not? Or that's the wrong show notes.
Huh?
He was on the wrong page.
I was on 460 for some reason.
Tomorrow, people.
I do like the physical mute indicator on the Lenovo keyboards
How
too.
come I've got
But
echoes?
you can have a touch bar.
Oh, look, how many times did you hit it before it worked?
Well, it's responsive enough. It's just you never know what it's gonna do or where it's at. Stupid laptop.
Can I opt out of
Nope.
Bud Light ads on Twitch?
Board light.
Like you don't drink Bud Light.
I mean, I will. If I get a choice, I drink Miller Lite of the two.
I'm putting my pick in before Alan's.
Too many dingies. I need to silence my phone.
Ooh,
Dingy
what's
dingy.
going on here?
What is the problem?
There
Very
isn't
dramatic.
sync between the switcher
I don't know what you were saying.
The streamer was flickering video really badly.
What's the CPU utilization of the computer that's sending the
Oh no,
final
no, it
stream
was a
out?
physical connector. One that wire we're using to go between them is kind of
Perfect? Yes.
yes, perfect.
I knew that's what you meant to say. I gotta get my other drink. Hang on.
I feel like it's stupid if I pick headphones and I don't wear the headphones. Right.
What do you mean?
I pick a pair of headphones and then I use this piece of crap headphones. It's like an anti.
Are you gonna pick earbuds?
No.
Oh well, then you can't wear headphones on this show.
Oh, I've done it.
Only a fool would do that.
You're not around. I do it.
Oh no. 2 live streams in one day. This is unprecedented. Probably not. It's probably not unprecedented.
Shh, can't talk about that.
4 videos? I mean, yeah, the Red Ripper embargo's tomorrow morning.
Recorded 4 videos in one day. We'll have recorded 4 videos.
Oh, if you count the
24-hour
pre-discussion,
period.
you mean the discussion we just had?
Yes,
as
I
one?
count that.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I wasn't counting that separate. Don't drink it now.
No, it's not. I'm going to soak up all. That's gingers. We need the ale.
It keeps us alive.
Like, it could be the input capture card having the same problem. Like the input in the new machine we just built that we haven't exactly stress tested.
That's a nice cable.
BNC, good. Sebastian says he could be on. In 3. Still could be the case. He could be on the podcast in 3 minutes. I can watch him from over here.
That's a long ways away.
If you never like bought cheese that has a wax on it, weird. That's how you. I'm just over here eating wax. I can't do the thing where, peanuts and shell?
Yeah.
No.
Really?
Why? Good parts on the inside.
I understand that.
I don't understand the ability to shell sunflower seeds in your mouth.
There was a point in my life where I knew how to do that, and now I don't have time for that. Now all I do is I eat all
It's just gross.
I just eat all the salt off them and then spit them out. At people, usually. Yes, it was Baby Bell cheese I was eating. See if what Sebastian here says.
So Jeremy's out, Sebastian's in.
Jeremy said he would message us when he's on, but I don't know when that's going to be. I don't know what
Depends
his
on the Vancouver bus
proximity
schedule.
is to work. Yeah. So
Okay.
we'll just assume Jeremy's out this week. I'm not holding back our show for Vancouver Bus System. I think that's what it's called. VBS. Vancouver Bus System.
Or Vacation Bible School. Because I know Jeremy goes there every summer.
Oh, Vacation Bible School. Yes. Also that. Yeah.
That's where when he goes on his long trip every 6 months, right? Ryan isn't tall. Don't let him fool you.
He's slightly taller than me.
Should have swapped laptops. We should have a game of spot all of the continuity errors between.
No, Sebastian. It is Skype. I am in you.
Yes.
The capture
Is the
card.
quality is sorry.
Oh, for a minute I
It
thought
was
that was
just
some
hot.
Hello Kitty headphones.
You like him, don't you?
Yes, want. Nice enterprise behind you too. Let's see that.
Thank
puppy.
you.
Nerd.
Yes, it talks.
Who that is?
Yeah, your level's coming in hot. Is it
Yeah.
us or him?
I think it's him.
All right, it's all on auto. Let me adjust.
Please do.
That engineering section does not look 100% correct. Looks too big.
Star Trek nerds.
All
are
right, turn the show
worst.
off.
It's all perspective, damn it.
Okay, fair play. Never mind.
Never mind.
Where did this lightsaber go?
That's nice. That's a nice enterprise.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that from?
A hobby shop. It's
Ooh.
Diamond Select.
You're still super
It's-
hot.
Okay,
Did you turn your level down?
back to no.
Please stop being distracted by the Star Trek discussion.
Okay,
Did my machine just reboot?
No,
it still seems
they're locked,
really
I think.
It
high.
never lost sense.
How about now?
Oh, then
It sounded
yeah,
better.
boned.
How about now?
A little bit better.
I have it set to like 25. And it still seems hot.
Doesn't sound
How
hot
about
right
this? Okay,
That
I'm
sounds
turning
tolerable.
myself way down.
now. Oh, that's good.
I got plenty of gain on here to crank you back up.
Okay, I'll leave it as is.
Works for me.
18% output. It is.
Fantastic. Finally. Somebody gets it. 18%.
That's exactly how much output I give.
Wait a minute.
No.
I got an email from Dropbox about all those files I deleted. Like
Yeah.
I zipped and then deleted a whole bunch and said, "Hey, we noticed you recently deleted a large number of files from your Dropbox."
You cool?
Yeah, like everything cool, man. They're saved for 30 days.
Am I good?
I deleted 7,901 files. If you meant to delete these files, you can ignore this email. Like, thank you.
That's just good
Thank you.
customer
We'll ignore
service.
this email.
I'm gonna ignore that email. Tuesday, August 15th. What does that day look like?
Bad.
Likely.
More than likely, it's the day before I go out of town, so chances are it's garbage. Tuesday, August 15th is Stephen Lynch's birthday.
Hey, happy birthday, Steven.
It's not today.
PT, 1 p.m.
Well, then.
Who is Stephen Lynch and why do I care?
You're fired.
He is a news guy who used to work for Kyle at HardSCP for a very long time.
Ah, yes.
Nope. Email replied. Dunzo.
Yes, I finally defeated Alan.
Killed him and taken his position.
I don't want to go that far. I want to be more vague about
Oh,
that
gotcha.
statement.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, did not kill. Probably did not.
No, Alan is very much alive. Wink.
So we'll do me, Josh, Ken, Sebastian.
Yeah.
All right. Can you figure
It's
that one out?
seniority.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yes, it is.
What do you mean?
All right.
It's not?
So you, then Josh.
Want to practice?
Well, yeah. You, Josh. Back to Ken, then Sebastian.
And then back to me.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
that's
the principle of the matter.
the Prince. Okay. Yeah.
We've
all right.
always done it by seniority.
Yeah, but now
It
it's
just happens to work out well, usually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well is all the eye of the beholder. All right, are we ready to go?
Let's do it.
Maybe.
Sure, whatever you guys
Sounds
say.
like not for Josh.
3, 2. Hey, everybody, welcome to the PC Perspective Podcast. This is episode 462, being recorded on August 9th, 2017. I'm Ryan Shrout.
I'm Josh Walrus.
I'm Ken Addison.
So I've had a little warning that says call quality information.
Holy shit, I didn't know they had Skype for the C64.
Wow, that was sudden. What was your warning you got, Josh?
It just says internet connection problem. There's a problem with the internet connection between you two. Hold on while we try to get the call back. But the call's not gone.
No, the call's not gone.
No, I'll give 'em
Sebastian,
that. The call is still here.
Looks great over here. Yeah.
Hey, I'm here.
This is beautiful.
You went to one frame every 4 seconds, and it's a very blocky frame.
Keyframes, baby, keyframes.
It's like a mid-90s
Try
web
calling
conference.
back.
It's perfect.
All right, we have a cover thumbnail.
Yeah, we'll try to call you back.
All right. Hey.
Hang up on that B.
That's perfect.
Start over?
Very
Yeah,
bad.
we're gonna start over. Please don't answer them. Please don't answer any questions. They may. I'm bandwidth not found.
I'm.
We should have played the dial-up sounds again.
Anything better?
Oh, that's way better. Yeah.
Let me double check with a small child and see if they're doing something.
Yes, please do.
Be right back.
Yes.
We need to get him a router.
Last
he can
week
just
before
log
the
into.
podcast, we did look up and find YouTube videos of modem sounds.
Is that before the podcast?
WWNSX says, "Mom, I'm on the phone." Ma.
Hey, you go ahead and keep.
Wait, you're theory mining? No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
Yay!
Was it his fault?
I don't know what it was. It just suddenly, my kid started complaining. He's playing Rocket League, and it's
Oh,
not
no.
like that's taking up a lot of bandwidth. And
No.
he's like, "What the hell's with this lag?" And so I went and smacked him up for saying hell. And then I went to the other child to see if he was downloading anything. In fact, he was just cleaning the
In fact,
oven.
he was
so
uploading.
yeah.
He was sharing torrents, like I've been teaching him to do.
Thanks.
All right, let's
Hey.
try.
All right,
Sharing is caring.
try it again.
Let's try this again from the beginning. All right, here we go. 3, 2. Hey, everybody, welcome to the PC Perspective Podcast. This is episode 462, being recorded on August the 9th, 2017. I'm Ryan Shrout.
I'm Josh Walrath.
I'm Ken Addison.
I'm Sebastian Peak.
It was much better this time around.
I'm not sure it was.
Welcome to the show, everybody. We talk about computer hardware and whatnot here. This is a very special episode of the podcast. I want to get this out of the way
So
right
special.
now. This is going to be a bifurcated podcast.
don't think that's the right word. We're not splitting it in two.
Well, I
Is that
mean,
even a real
we did.
word?
We recorded part 1, and now we're recording part 2.
In half. We
just
didn't
just
split it in
because
half.
we're, look it up. Make sure I'm right. So the Threadripper processor performance NDA, for us at least, is tomorrow morning, Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern time. So we can't talk about the Threadripper processor here today on this podcast
Correct.
with you guys live, right? But if you're watching this the next day, if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, you're watching this or you're listening to it on your favorite Zune podcast player, we'll be able to talk about Threadripper. So what we did was we recorded our Threadripper discussion earlier off live. Sorry, everybody who's live. And we will cut that into the discussion as we go. So when you feel that continuity shift where I no longer have beard and Ken had a beard on, right? All these changes are going to occur suddenly, and that's because we recorded that session a little bit early. So
Just like
keep in mind for
the
that.
things you find in the back of the Highlights magazine where you have to find the differences. You should do that in the YouTube comments for all of the continuity errors.
Right. Yes. Correct.
Do
Correct.
not draw on
Yeah,
your
and in the
screen.
one continuity area, I've got a shake weight, and I'm using it, so it's going to be really obvious.
Sure. So we do record the show live, and most of the time we have all the content on it at pcper.com/live, Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. That's if you're watching us live now, that's where you're at probably. If you need a reminder, you want to be notified when we're doing these live streams, if you go to pcper.com/subscribe, you get this page here, looks like this page. It is actually this page. Give us your name and your email address, and we send you notifications when we're going to do live streams. Most of the time it's for these podcasts, but sometimes it's for other events. Sometimes we host live streams with AMD software groups, and we give away RX 580 video cards. Maybe that happened today. Maybe that happened literally like 5 hours ago or 6 hours ago or something like
God,
that.
that was today still?
Yeah, I know. So if you had been signed up for that mailing list, you would have known about that event. So make sure you do that. And then, of course, we have our Patreon campaign going at patreon.com/PCPer. This is where you have the opportunity, if you wish to contribute to us on a monthly basis. It's a recurring monthly payment. It could be $1, $3, $5, $10, $20, whatever you want it to be. We appreciate each and every one of you that becomes a patron, that stays a patron, that increases patronage. All that type of stuff is super awesome, and it's definitely a big, big help for us here. As is always the case on the podcast, I will call out any new patron members and or anybody who increases their patronage during the live stream, and I will thank them. And now I will do so twice. Shrouded Out Loud just pledged $5. So thank you very much to Shrouded Out Loud. I appreciate that. That's awesome.
There's a joke somewhere in there. I just can't find it.
I don't know what it is. And then Ryzen Shrout just pledged $4.99. RYZEN, Ryzen as in the processor Shrout. I didn't have a kid named that I know of. But there
Will
you go.
you name your next child Ryzen?
No.
Why are you such an Intel fanboy?
Yeah.
Because it's definitely going to be Coffee Lake Shrout. Sorry, it's already been determined. So thank you to Shrouded Out Loud and Ryzen Shrout, distant family members, for their contributions to our Patreon campaign. I don't know why that link didn't work, but I will mention it anyway. We have so we've been doing more videos, guys. If you go to our YouTube channel, which is very simply youtube.com/PCPer, as I attempt to type that in.
Yeah, we got one of those fancy vanity URLs.
Before they got rid of them, yeah. So if you go there, you can see, one, that we are actively streaming live.
Oh, God, don't do Streamception.
That's good. And also we have all these other videos that have been going up. One, we did a PC Perspective plays of Dark Forces, the 1995 first-person shooter that I think was surprisingly good and surprisingly fun. And also I'm doing mailbags, and apparently I make those faces while I'm doing the mailbags.
Yeah, we didn't want
As
to tell you about
well.
it, but that just
Hey, somebody else
happens
makes the
lot.
thumbnail, so whatever. It's not my problem. Not my problem.
That's a very YouTube face, Ryan. Good job.
Yeah, I don't have any justification for it, to be perfectly honest with you. But if you're missing out on these things, stop missing out on these things. and watch them. Ken and I, we played Dark Forces. We played the original 1995 version. Then we played this Dark XL version, which is like a new engine.
Like a third-party engine that someone wrote that's compatible with a couple of games, actually.
And
how come you never play with me? That's what I want to know. I'm just sitting here all by my lonesome
if
in
you look at
Wyoming,
this video, changing the subject nonchalantly,
playing with myself.
there are 4 copies of Dark Forces sitting on the desk in front of us, like actual boxed copies with the discs in them and everything.
One of them had a sealed disc inside of them.
Yeah,
box
look at
wasn't
that.
sealed.
Look how
That's weird.
amazingly awful that is. Oh my, that is
Sprites rock.
Oh man, and then there's Mon Mothma. Okay, and then look at that visual tearing. This is the newer version, right? Yeah, it's funny because like some of the stuff is very sharp and crisp in the new engine, and then you come up to those textures and stuff, and they're like the doors and stuff. It's like no, that's still awful, still real bad. It's like that right there.
It's like 256 by 256 textures.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun though.
Lower.
A lot of fun, worth checking out. For if you want to hang out with us for an hour and 15 minutes. We talk about random crap as we do it as well, so that's always fun. And then today, I already mentioned it real quick, but if you missed it, you can check out the replay. We did a Radeon Software Group live stream where they came in, they talked about their newest software releases, talked a little bit about what they were planning for the future. They've got another big December release coming up. We gave away some RX 580s. Sorry, they've already been given away, so you can't win them if you watch the replay. It's disappointing, I bet. But it's interesting to talk to these guys, talk to the engineers, the marketing teams, the product managers about what their plans are, what their ideas were, why they did certain things they did. They had a pretty compelling case about their system where you could vote for which features you like.
Yeah, I honestly didn't know that existed until today.
Yeah.
That's a really cool thing.
And so they talk about, hey, like the 2 features that got added in this driver were the number 1 and the number 2 on that list.
Makes sense.
Over the last several months. So good on them for doing that. Good on them for coming out and stopping by, updating us, keeping everybody abreast of what is going on. Hey, look, I'm wearing that same shirt right now. Shirtception. If I pulled this shirt off and I had another identical shirt on underneath it, that would be
put
worrisome.
a note in the comment of every video that Ryan wears this shirt in the next day. We'll say
there'll be a lot of them. And then our final note at the top of the list is August 26th. We will be hosting our 16th virtual LAN party. The Fragging Frogs group, which is our gaming group in our forums, host these, and usually Jeremy talks these up. But he is MIA with us today. But Lenny helps organize these in the chat. These go from 10 a.m. until late into the a.m. that night. They play a bunch of games. You get on TeamSpeak servers. I don't know if they have a Discord or anything set up. I'll have to look and see if they want to set something up. So they play a lot of different games. You just basically have a lot of fun. It's a LAN party, but virtualized, so that you don't have to be in the same room with Josh, which I think
just ideal.
Everybody appreciates that a little bit, And
I mean, you've seen my office.
Yeah,
parts of it.
Let's keep it at that.
Part of it.
Let's keep it at that. All right, so now we're going to get into the meaty topics of the week, and this is the point where people who are on the live stream will be disappointed as we skip right past discussing AMD Threadripper review.
Yeah,
and move on to the next Threadripper.
Hold on, I have to get into position for the chair flip I do in the beginning. So.
Oh yeah. Okay,
we'll
ready?
Cut here.
Cut now. All right, and we're back. Thank you, Ryan and Ken and Josh, for that riveting discussion on Threadripper.
Man, they're good.
Those guys really know.
Really on top of it.
Yeah. It's a very insightful discussion. Everybody's going to really enjoy
keep them
that.
Around.
They're going to really like that. So I can't tell you about on the live stream what the reviews are like, but I can tell you how to install the processor.
It's not exactly the most straightforward thing.
It is not. It is not.
I've done it a couple times this week.
The processor installation method for Threadripper is very different than anything we've seen in consumer CPUs before. It uses a sled. It uses 2 retention brackets. It comes, the retail box for Threadripper comes with a
lock, which may not be broken by the time you get to it.
Comes with a torque wrench. Yeah. It's super neat packaging. They spent a lot of time on it. They did a really good job. I don't want to belabor this because this has basically been out for a week. So most of the people who are listening to this podcast or watching it have seen how this works. But other than weighing 1/3 of a pound, other than being about the size of the pancakes that I feed my daughter in the morning, it's an impressive piece of hardware. They do a very good job of presentation with it. With the the box includes the adapter for the Asetek style coolers.
Teeth coolers.
Yeah, Sebastian, what's your opinion on the teeth style cooler? Do you like that retention bracket more or less than some of the other designs? I kind of don't enjoy it.
I'd say less. I'm with you on that one. Although it is convenient that it's just a simple twist to pull it off and switch between AMD and Intel. I give them that.
You have to loosen up those bolts first, the screws, right? And then, but the idea is you don't have to take the whole bracket off.
I think the
Right, you
bolts,
sort of lift it slightly, twist, and pull it straight off.
Yeah.
the bolts have to be so loose for there actually to be any give to get it underneath the teeth that you're essentially taking it off, in my experience.
Mm.
So I usually just
But
do
at
that.
least,
I usually
at least
align
with
it.
the teeth,
And then, yeah.
you can adjust where those hoses come out of really easily.
That's true. You
True.
have unlimited
Yeah.
positions
Yes.
or many
Yeah.
positions that they can come out of. That's true. That's true.
That's helpful.
So you can see in the video here that like you actually keep the processor in this plastic sled and then you slide it in. Not the first time, of
Of
course.
course, it took you several times
Took me a
to,
second trip.
actually insert it correctly.
It's like a USB port, honestly.
I mean,
Mhm.
funny, Josh, but like it is actually very difficult to align it.
Is it?
Having done it a couple of times, like
Well, I mean, your first time.
yeah,
yes,
exactly.
But you learn.
The first time you're trying
It's
to
amazing you
stick
just
it in
didn't
there.
drop the CPU and as soon as you touched it. So
The first time you're trying to stick it in there, you just
Exactly.
get it right lined up
gets
in
it
the
all-
hole. It's not
If you don't hear a
You
click,
got
something's
thermal paste
wrong.
all over
Oh, God,
his,
yeah.
his hands, and it was
Yeah.
just really messy.
and
Um,
if it's the father's pistol hammer going back, that's the wrong click, and we're talking about the wrong thing.
Yeah, indeed. We also do an unboxing if you care about that, like the reviewer's kit, because they did a fantastic job presenting the reviewer's kit.
Yeah.
Like they sent it in one of these bulletproof looking cases, like what's the
knockoff Pelican case.
knockoff Pelican case. They gave us a custom PC Perspective etched Ryzen dummy part. The lights come up behind the plastic housing on the packaging. They did a really good job with this. But now that we've already talked about the review, it feels a little empty to be talking about just simple unboxing of these parts. But I'm
pedestrian.
excited about it. I was just gonna ask like Josh and Sebastian what they think about Threadripper, but I guess I can't ask them that.
But I can tell you about the package.
Yes,
they don't
please
have
tell me about the
opinions.
package.
It's not 9 a.m. yet.
it's when you get it and you open it and you do that, it's an event. And it's not just opening up a little box and you got a little plastic clamshell, you take some out. No, this is opening. It's like a flower opening up
Yeah.
to you just personally.
I was trying to think of a
Flower.
comparison, and I can't really.
I actually
Like a lot of really expensive luxury goods don't come in ornate boxes.
Well, I mean, Intel's $1,000 7900X comes in just a box.
Yeah.
Like it's got a design on it. It says the name of the part and everything, but it's just a box.
Mhm.
The Threadripper is a presentation. It is it is something like that. And whether or not you care about that, it's going to determine, is going to be based on you. But I think for a lot of consumers that are going to be striving to get into that $800 and $1,000 processor point, if you're spending much more than you're used to on a system, the impact of something like that is actually super nice to have, right? It feels weighty. It feels not just because it's actually heavy, but it feels like substantial, like you're doing something of merit when you install it.
But on the same side, if you're Josh building a machine to run R simulations, you don't care.
Yeah,
True.
I do. Are you kidding me?
Oh,
Do you realize why I got into hardware reviewing?
I get
I
it.
like
his
opening
office.
this stuff up
The
and
proof is
testing
right
it.
there.
I meant the royal Josh, not that Josh in particular.
Oh well, gosh.
If you're IT
yes.
guy.
If you have to install 20 of these over the course of,
Yeah.
Then it
what
gets
is that?
annoying.
What was that?
Ah,
All right. Okay. I'm glad I wasn't having a epileptic seizure or something. So that's our Threadripper coverage. Check out the review at PCPer.com. It's live now, not live now, but like it's the 10th, guys. It's live on the 10th. Let's get into a review. And hey, we haven't had Sebastian on in a while. We talk about his crap all the time. So let's talk about his reviews with Sebastian. Sebastian, tell me about the BitPhoenix Shogun tempered glass enclosure. These are all the rage these days.
Yes, having tempered glass has become actually pretty affordable, so you're finding it on more and more cases. Although I will say the side panels on this case are the thickest glass I've seen so far, so they took it to the next level.
Is that THICC or what?
Yeah, thick.
Okay, that's good. Yeah,
Thick.
just making sure.
As you can see from this first photo, it has
It's a
an
beautiful
interesting.
photo.
Yeah, thank you. You can see my living room lamp reflected in it. I seriously considered the top left-hand corner.
Oh
of the glass
yes, I see
there.
it there now. Yeah.
I seriously considered photoshopping that out. I'm like, you know what? I can't do this. So, it's kind of interesting because at the bottom there you have a front-facing double SSD mount with the same RGB lighting as the rest of the case. So, kind of an odd thing, but you can
closer
display
to
your
RGB
SSDs.
I mean, so
Yeah.
SSDs don't generally have like a fantastic looking design, but they're expensive investments for your PC, so you might want to show them off. I can see that. As opposed to having them in the back where the rat's nest of cables is.
Right. And I found a silver one, so it reflected the light nicely. I thought it was an interesting effect, but not necessary. And you can
Sure.
take the bracket out as well if you don't want it there. This is a really big case, too. I mentioned in the review. It's a mid-tower, but it is the size of some full towers.
And what the hell's the
You have
difference?
expansion slots, total room inside the case.
Okay.
So, like, inside the case itself, once you get everything, like, once you're building, it kind of looks like every other open internal layout mid-tower,
Right.
including some other Bitfinex cases. The main difference is the external appearance of this. You have a top and bottom aluminum sculpted panel,
Mm-hmm.
and underneath that single piece of aluminum, you have like a metal mesh. It's kind of like what you'd expect to see on like an outdoor speaker, is how I described it.
Okay.
That kind of sturdy metal mesh, which acts as to increase airflow. So kind of interesting idea where you have that scoop that sort of intakes air and expels it. And there's the close-up of the very thick side panel there. The rear side panel is painted black on the inside, so it's not actually clear. So
But it's still glass.
reflects light. Yeah, it reflects light and kind of like a mirror on the back, so you don't see any cable mess at all.
Do you
But
like
you
that?
still have the effect of glass on both sides.
Do you like that?
Which I don't know. It's a little odd. I understand the aesthetic choice for symmetry, but it makes it a lot heavier, especially considering how thick the glass is,
Yeah.
and it makes the case cost more because you're paying for two of these really thick glass panels. So if they were to change anything about the case, I would say just put a metal panel on the back.
Gotcha.
How resilient is that paint on that other panel?
It seems to be very thick. It's some sort of
It's like a
I don't know
laminate instead
exactly.
of a paint.
I didn't do a analysis on it on a chemical level.
Come on,
Did you do
man.
the scratch
I
test?
called it covered in black paint.
That's fair.
So that's as far as I went. I'm
Fair.
sorry.
Anything else stand out? So we can see the SSD mounts there.
I will just briefly say there's a couple of interesting things about the inside. One, you can see in these pictures, if you're watching the stream, there are these little kind of soft tray looking things on the right hand side below the hard drive cages.
Here?
And those are removable, and each one of them is designed to support a longer graphics card. So they're padded, and they just hold the graphics card up. So when I got done installing my system, I just propped the card up with one of these things, tightened it down. They have a slot they can move up and down, and then I had absolutely no sag. So that's a nice feature. And then the other thing is this case supports eATX. You have to take out the hard drive cages, and you can swap in an additional motherboard tray element and expand the case in that direction. So there's some modularity to the case design as well.
Interesting. All right. What's it cost?
I believe when I wrote this up, it was selling for $149 on Amazon.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So it's definitely in that premium category over $100. You're getting the very thick tempered glass side panels. It has Asus Aura integration, so if you
that's
have one
cool.
of those motherboards, it has
that's kinda neat.
infinite colors, 16 million colors.
I didn't notice. Does it have a spot for my Blu-ray player?
You know what? That's an interesting omission. you know how most cases these days don't really have those 5 1/4 inch bays? It has the cutout for the 5 1/4 inch bay.
It doesn't
But
have
But it
bay?
doesn't have
Nothing
the.
is behind it.
That's I hate
And there's
optical
no
drives,
space
and
to
that's
put one.
BS.
You can mod it. I mean,
Why?
it's there.
Why?
I don't know why it's there. There's not even space
It's
for a fan controller. So, question
It's just
mark.
an aesthetic decision. It just happens to be 5 1/4 inches.
Yes, it breaks up the monotony of what would otherwise be a solid front panel in a aesthetically pleasing way, reminiscent of the 5 1/4 inch drive bays of yesteryear.
It's skeuomorphic.
It's for people who like want to remember the days of optical drives, but are smart enough to realize that they're awful. Right?
I wonder if anybody buys this and starts like pressing on it and trying to find like the catch to release.
I might at that point. Like,
Yeah, fair enough.
I wouldn't look at the specs page to see if it has a 5 1/4 inch bay if it had that cut out in the front.
I mean, if I were building it, you would know immediately.
Yeah.
So there's that. All right, that's cool. We don't have any of the tempered glass cases in here, actually, do we?
Yeah, we do.
What do we have?
I don't remember.
I think there's one or two
line.
back there.
I think the one Alex is using is tempered glass for the editing machine on the other
Son
side.
of a
Maybe.
waste.
I think that's Lexan.
Yeah.
All right.
We have
Brian,
one.
I can hook you up if you need one.
Do you have cases? Do you have cases, Sebastian?
I have a couple.
I don't see any in the background where you're at, though, so it feels a little odd, right? Usually
I'm
it's...
in a undisclosed location currently,
I see. Aboard
away
the
from my
Enterprise.
cases.
Yeah. A couple of other reviews real quick to touch on. Maury posted a review of the MSI X299 Gaming M7 ACK. ACK?
Did the sin come before this motherboard, or
I don't know. It's a pretty interesting design. I like kind of the silver, gray, red, and this kind of like, I don't know, I keep calling it like the claw or something like that, but I don't know what they call it actually. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Yes. A lot of capabilities in here. You got killer Wi-Fi, killer networking, a lightning port.
what's a lightning port?
Well, what does it say actually? What is that? Lightning USB 3.1 Gen 2.
Okay, so a USB 3.1 Gen
but
2
it does,
Type
but they
C.
don't mean Thunderbolt.
No.
Otherwise, they would say Thunderbolt. I assume.
So when you plug it in, does a guy in a wizard costume come by and say, "Lightning bolt, lightning bolt"?
I mean,
I
I
hope
hope so. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, otherwise, what are we even doing here, right?
Exactly.
Looks like a pretty interesting board. See, like stylized photos just add a whole lot to that, don't they?
That's why you need the LEDs.
Yeah, that's true. Thank God for RGB, right?
We
What else?
need the boards rigged up like they do at trade shows, where they just have power connected and they're running the LEDs without a CPU or anything connected.
I mean,
There's
yeah,
some
we can
special way
easily
they're
do
doing
that. Yeah. We can do that. So this is X299, so it's built for Skylake X, so your 7900X or your 7820 or 7740 or whatever platforms you happen to use with that. It looks like they're using, okay, so that claw actually covers the two M.2 slots.
That's not a bad idea.
Of two different lengths, and you can see they've got the heatsink on them. We'll have to check with Alan later and see if those heatsinks, if they're hitting the NAND, that's bad. If they're hitting the controller, that's good.
Looks like there's even a lead for a temp sensor on that heatsink. Or is that an RGB?
Oh,
That's
come on,
probably
son. It's
RGB.
got to be RGB.
I'm sorry.
Would you use leads for useful stuff like that?
That's a nice
Is that on a
photo
hinge?
right there.
Oh, it's just on a hinge. Oh, okay. That's kind of cool.
That's a good photo. Look at this. Got the socket there exposed. Got the. That's some nice framing.
Good job, Maury. Good job, Maury.
I mean, we could talk about white balance, but let's not.
Well, he doesn't have his furniture glaring into it, so.
Oh, yeah, there's no
Yeah, you
lamps
had
in
to
that
go there.
picture. No
You had to
lamps in that
go
picture. Maury's article goes over the UEFI, the BIOS. It goes over the BIOS.
It's not a
clear-
BIOS.
BIOS.
Whatever, it will forever be.
It's a
Overclocking.
BIOS, son.
Yeah. Pricing. So this is a $399 motherboard.
That's a bit steep.
Yeah, it
Look
is.
but Ken, look at the armor. Look at those armored PCIe slots.
Mhm,
You're not
mhm.
not
True.
damaging those.
Plus, they're probably illuminated.
Of course they are.
They're definitely illuminated. But there is no RGB LED configuration via the UEFI, and no PCIe by one port to the right of the primary. Wait, what does that say? To right of primary PCIe slot. To right? To the right.
I don't know which perspective he's talking about.
What?
Yes.
Is he talking about above it? He's got to be
Yeah.
talking about above it.
Oh.
Right?
But there isn't room.
Well, you could make room if you just push those DIMM slots out of the way.
All right, good point.
Yeah, I mean, come on, guys. It's just simple motherboard design. So check that out. That's the MSI X299 Gaming M7 ACK. ACK, we've got that up there for you. And then also real quick, Lee posted a review of the Corsair HX series 850 watt platinum power supply from Corsair. This is an updated HX series. They have updated the 750, 850, the 1000, and the 1200 watt power supply. I don't know how difficult these are to find with all the mining crap that was going on. But they have 50C ratings, 80 plus platinum efficiency. So these are going to be the most efficient. Is there anything above platinum? I don't think so right now. Titanium's above that. Okay. 10-year warranties, which is impressive to see. And the 850 model starts at $159, and then the 850i with Corsair Link is $199. That's kind of a steep add-on for a technology that probably not a whole lot of people are really utilizing right now. But
is it? You said platinum. Is it Ethereum rated? I believe that's the higher rating.
Oh, you know what? No, adamantium is also not part of the standard yet, so there is that. What are the power supplies we've been using recently? They were RM 1000. So these are a little bit more updated than that. Lee, just go read the review. It's nice to see reviews of power supplies that are in more reasonable expectation, like wattage ranges, as opposed to 1000 plus. Although the RX Vega liquid cool does have a recommended power supply spec of 1000 watts, according to the Sapphire site.
Overclocked RX Vega and an overclocked Threadripper. You're
near 1000 watts. That's true.
I just break embargo.
No.
It's on Sapphire's website.
Oh, okay. Fair play.
Yeah. So check out the review. It is a fully modular case. You can switch between single and multiple 12-volt rails on it.
That's neat.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever need to, but
yeah, I mean,
sure.
Yeah. Oops. Skill there. It did get a gold award as well, with the only weakness being no dedicated PCIe connectors on a single cable. So looks like they're all split in that regard. Oh, I see. Yeah. They're all the dual connector style, I guess, which saves space on the back of the power supply, but does make it a little bit more pain as you're building your machine. So there you go. That's the Corsair HX power supply. All right, let's get into some news items that occurred. AMD, obviously had the big news of the day with the Threadripper release and the reviews and all that. 16-core processors, flagship performance, highest core count for a consumer part. Intel, kind of knowing this was coming, decided this week to release the rest of the specifications for their Core i9 series of parts. They'd already told us what the parts were going to be, like the names and the prices, but they hadn't told us clock speeds, and I'm guessing they hadn't actually determined clock speeds yet. I don't know why our background just turned purple, but
went from red to blue.
Oh, I see that. That doesn't. If it looks blue on your screen, that's great. It looks purple out here on this screen. Yeah, use the cyan color. The cyan color works better for them. Yeah, come on, you can do this. There you go. That's better. Yeah, there you go. So now we know the clock speeds, right? So we didn't know anything above the 10 core. Now we know all the way up to 18 cores. They're going to have Turbo Boost Max 3 speeds of 4.4 gigahertz, meaning that 1 or 2 cores, if that's all you're really loading down the system at any given time, will be able to hit clock speeds as high as 4.4 gigahertz. That's obviously higher than the Threadripper parts that were 4 gigahertz, or that are 4 gigahertz rather. Now, if you look at the base clock, the 18 core is down to 2.6 and the 16 core is down to 2.8 gigahertz. Those are actually pretty low. And depending on how aggressive Intel can get with power consumption and TDPs and all that type of stuff, if you look across at the Threadripper 1950X and 1920X, and even, the 1900X doesn't really count in this regard, but like those have 400 or 500, or no, actually they have 800 megahertz improvements over the 18-core Intel part, and 600 to 800 megahertz faster over the 16-core part. So it does create like this really interesting topic of discussion until we get parts in our hand about how that scaling will actually work in terms of benchmarks, software, actual performance metrics that we can look at. Got memory here. That's all quad channel PCIe lanes. So nothing over 44 lanes for the consumer parts. The TDPs do jump from 140 to 165 as we get higher. But as we talked about earlier with the Threadripper parts, they're using a lot of power. So not a super big concern there. But pricing, obviously, the bottleneck for Intel at this point, right? So their 12-core processor is going to be $1199. 14 cores for $1399, 16 cores for $1699, and 18 cores for $1999. So
that is both a lot of cores and a lot of money at the same time.
It is a lot of dollars per cores. Yeah, there is that. That's true. So I don't know. Any thoughts on what this will mean now that we know the clock speeds? They did announce also the availability. So the 12-core will launch on August 28th. While the 14, 16, and 18 core parts will launch on September 25th. So we have
sooner than we thought.
Yeah, I was thinking more
November,
late
December.
October timeframe at the earliest. So they either bumped it up because of Threadripper or just because. So any thoughts on these?
Competition's a wonderful thing.
It is. I wish they would like suddenly lower prices as well, but I did think it was odd that when they first launched Skylake X, they announced pricing for the whole family across the board already, right? And that was back in like May, or Computex timeframe, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
So very end of May, as opposed to waiting and seeing what AMD was going to do. They didn't do that, so I don't know if they regret that decision or not. But
they got moles in AMD.
Yeah, I mean probably
they know what they're doing before them.
Everybody knows what everybody's doing.
Yeah.
Sebastian, you ready for a $2,000 Skylake X part?
Absolutely, as long as you're providing it.
Okay, well, moving on.
It does seem a little high considering what else is out there.
I'm actually just curious. Yeah, I mean, if I look at, okay, I don't know what that app was. What is the cost per core, right? So the 18 core is $111 per core, while the 12 core is $100 per core, right? So it's not that far off.
Should be getting cheaper as yet.
And then the 1400 for the 14 core, yeah. So once you get to the 16 core, you're paying a little bit more. So it's not as different as I thought it was going to be, I guess. Whereas obviously, if you just look at cost per core, AMD has the advantage, but IPC, clock speeds, there's a whole lot of other stuff that goes into that decision. So I'm very curious to see what this will turn into at the late summer, early fall.
Have we hit 10 cents per core yet?
No, quite far from that, apparently. I mean, maybe if we get down to some of the ARM parts, we can maybe have that discussion. Maybe stuff that goes into a calculator or something.
There's M0s.
Yeah, maybe. Could ask our buddies at ARM if we could just get a license for one and for 10 cents. Never actually build it, but all right. So that's the upcoming Skylake X, Core i9 updates. And then we also had, well, I thought we were going to talk about only rumors about this, but then Intel made an announcement of a pending announcement, which is all the rage now. Sebastian, what are they telling us here for the Eclipse Day?
That the 8th generation is coming. They are announcing the announcement is upcoming. That you don't have to be left in the dark. No pun intended. During the eclipse, it's a Facebook live stream, so you can view it from Facebook on their Intel Facebook page. Ugh. And I reprinted their 8-point bullet list of the things they're going to be discussing on the stream. But as we just went over, they've already released details about clock speeds, core counts.
No,
etc.
But the 8th gen is different. 8th gen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So 8th gen will be their This is gonna be their next mobile.
This is Coffee Lake. We're talking about Coffee Lake now.
I don't.
We're talking about 8th gen.
Yeah, I don't want to say that yet.
There are weird
I don't
conflicting roadmap leaks.
Yeah,
about
there's-
that stuff.
There are rumors that this Coffee Lake. It's rumors that it's another version of Cabby Lake.
On the mobile side, and then
It's
desktop will
definitely.
be-
I mean, if you look at this picture, it's a laptop. So
what? No.
yeah. Sorry to tell you guys, it's a laptop. Right here, you see the keyboard and then the laptop.
I thought it was
and the
Mothman.
screen. It kind of does look like that. I was trying to figure out what else they were going for, and I can't figure it out.
Kind of like Dead Mouse.
I'm very confused because I pulled up the wrong article that I wrote.
Oh, okay.
where I
yeah,
was
yeah,
covering rumors about something called Coffee Lake.
yeah. You gotta do this in order, man. We're in order.
Yes, I hit the wrong link. I apologize. I was confused because the author was the same, and yet he has no idea what he's talking about.
What author would that be?
Josh Walrath.
Hold on, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
There must be an error in the system. I'll have to let the devs know.
Yeah, you should get on that. Yeah. All right. So the 8th gen announcement is basically a mobile part. What else do they talk about? They talk about Don't Get Left in the Dark, 8th gen for VR creator, something.
The most important part is that it will be over before the eclipse starts. I was a little confused about this when I saw this announcement. Like, wait a minute. Everybody's been talking about this. This national news. There's going to be this nationwide eclipse, and you're going to hold your live stream. I'm not going to be guys. I'm at my computer. You enjoy the eclipse. I'm watching it.
They're gonna point a camera at the sun so you get the same effect.
True.
They're streaming on Facebook Live.
They're in the totality ring, so they're gonna do us all a favor and stream it over Facebook.
That's true. They could do that.
Isn't that amazing? I'm nearly
They're
in the
protecting
totality
people's
ring.
vision.
In fact, 2 hours north. I'm there, taking the kids.
Yeah,
like
we're
4
like
hours
3
north.
hours to get to Bowling Green.
Yeah.
Yeah, here. I mean, you're not that special. That's what I'm saying.
I am special.
Oh, okay. I mean, what?
Okay.
I mean, let's not dive into it anymore.
Josh, you're special to me.
So yeah,
Thanks.
I've actually had to decline 2 different like product briefings that were occurring during the eclipse. It's like, no, guys, at 1 p.m. Eastern, no, I don't think I'm gonna take that phone call. How about 10 a.m.
Isn't it at
or
2?
4 p.m. It lasts for an hour and a half
Yeah, I guess
from
that makes
beginning
sense.
to end. So
I think totality is like 1:45, maybe.
I mean, it depends on where you're at.
I think you're looking at Central Time, which is where you're going to drive to.
Yep.
Yeah, so 2 something here.
Ah.
So there you go. If you want to, like August 21st, we're going to know about the 8th generation for mobile. And the only thing they mention is purchase in the holiday season, end quote, even before.
That's a bad phrasing on that.
Yeah.
To purchase in the holiday season and even before.
Then just say before, holiday
Even
season.
before.
Yeah.
It's
And what holiday? I mean, it could be.
Well, maybe they're
That's true.
St.
maybe
Patrick's
they've
Day.
got an exclusive, just like AMD and Threadripper. Most everybody can get it in the holiday season, but if you want it before, you got to get with Dell and Alienware.
Well, I imagine it's not Dell and Alienware for this one, but
Alienware 13.
let's look at that second story, Sebastian, that this other guy wrote.
This is the one I wrote.
Oh, the other one was not. Okay,
Yeah,
so tell me about
Josh
this.
screwed
What
the
are
other
the
one
what
up.
are the
Sorry,
Coffee
Josh.
Lake rumors? And this might be confusing because if the rumors are right, they're calling this 8th generation, which is a different architecture, whereas 8th generation on the mobile side might not be. I don't know.
Maybe it could just be a rebranding on the mobile side. We don't really know. We don't know anything about it. We
That's
know
true.
they're going to be doing an announcement live
All right.
on the 21st.
So what's this one?
So these, and you can't trust every single rumor, of course. There have been several of these swirling around. I reproduced a chart in this post that was published by WCCF Tech, and there's a slight disparity between what's in the chart and what they actually published in the article as far as clock speeds, for example, with the i7. But essentially, the big news from this was not that there will be a new flagship i7 desktop part, because of course there will be. And it'll be an 8700K, we assume, if there's been a 77 and a 67 and so on. But the change is core counts across the board, it looks like. So with the Core i7 part, it will, the rumor is that it will be moving to 6 cores, 12 threads instead of 4 cores, 8 threads. You lose a little bit of base clock speed. The boost clocks remain high.
Yeah, 4.7 on the
chart, it says-
8700K.
It says 4.7 in the article. It says that it maxes out at 4.3. So I don't know which one is
That's a big
accurate.
difference.
Well, so on the table, if it's true, boost clock max would be maximum for single threaded, and then 4.3 is boost clock 6-core, which would be how high it could go fully threaded for some unknown amount of time. So 4.7 still, I mean, that's 200 megahertz higher than the 7700K, I think, right?
I don't know.
Yes,
I mean,
the boost clock is 4.5.
I mean, hold
on
on,
that.
it's literally 2 columns over in the table.
It's
So
very
yes,
small from here.
Yeah.
You need a bigger monitor.
Yeah, please.
Mhm.
But the to me the bigger story was that there will be, or according to this, there will be 6-core, well, without SMT, no hyper-threading,
Mhm.
Core i5s, and
Okay.
then all of the i3s mentioned are 4 cores. I don't understand why there
Yeah,
would
but
be
they don't
a
have
hyper-threaded
they don't have
4-core,
hyper threading
8-thread.
though. It's going to be 4-core, 4 threads.
I can't imagine they would do a 4-core 8-thread i3 when the i5 is single. Although, current i3 like the 6100, it's a
Yeah,
hyper-threaded
but those are only
part.
2 cores, 4 threads versus i5s, 4 cores, 4 threads. I mean, it's still a significant difference in performance. And yeah, there's no way they're going to be 4 and 8 with an i3.
You don't think so?
Intel they don't go that way.
I mean, what do you mean?
They don't
Especially
play
when you
that.
mean they don't go that
i5.
way?
6 cores, 6 threads.
Well,
It just-
I would wager that the 6 true cores would be faster than 8 threads, right? Than 4.
But it's not going to be that much faster.
Yeah. I mean, I guess.
Look at your base clocks.
Sure. Yeah. Boost clocks, Core i3s don't, at least according to this table, won't have like turbo boost still. Yeah, I'd be interested to see what their decision is. Like, so AMD is putting a lot of pressure on them with the Ryzen 3 being quad core 4 thread and the Ryzen 5 being quad core 8 thread. So it is kind of an interesting place because, in theory, the Core i5 of this revision would be faster if they just did quad core hyper threaded.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But according to this, they're doing 6 and 6 as opposed to 4 and 8. At the Core i7 line, the interesting thing from AMD's standpoint was that the Ryzen 7 kind of split the difference between Core i7 mainstream and Core i7 HEDT. So the 6-core kind of goes after some of that area as well. So I'll be curious to see what this plans out. Did they talk about timing at all in this story?
I didn't see anything about timing, and I didn't see anything specific. I haven't done a lot of extra research. I didn't see anything specific about rumors about pricing. The only thing that kind of struck me was that TDPs appear to be unchanged, which doesn't surprise me. But
Yeah.
kind of, I guess, on that side of it, if you're looking at price performance, I think Ryzen will still be ahead even after this.
Yep.
But it's hard to argue with something that would potentially be 6 cores at 65 watts.
Yeah, considering part of our Threadripper discussion centered around like, hey, 7700K at quad core, hyper-threaded, high clock speeds is still really, really, really good for gaming stuff. Like adding more frequency and more cores to that,
It's probably still going to be good.
probably still going to be really good at it, right? Yeah, in a couple of months if this comes to pass. So interesting to see when this gets released. Is this a early 2018 part? Like, is this a CES launch? Is this before that? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll be curious. So interesting stuff. Good job for whoever was the author of that story.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who it was. And we don't have Jeremy here, so I really have no idea what the story is about now. But somebody built a remote starter for their PC. Did you say you understood what this was about, Ken?
A little bit.
What am I looking at?
There's
There's some pieces on this picture. I know what
Yeah.
those are.
I see
but-
some resistors.
Yeah.
I'm
I'll do.
resisting. Hashtag
I mean,
resist. That's not funny.
That was a little courtesy laugh.
Go ahead, Ken.
essentially, over at Tech Report, they wanted a way to remotely turn their home theater PC on because it was behind a wall.
Okay.
So they essentially took one of these ESP8266 Wi-Fi microcontrollers, which are very popular right now. You can get a board with them, with one of them on it, like a dev board, for $5.
Okay.
So you can do simple things over Wi-Fi, and essentially they're just kind of, from what I understand, bridging the onboard header of the motherboard to be able to turn the PC on and off remotely. It's kind of a cool little project. It would be a good intro to working with microcontrollers and stuff like that.
Interesting.
Why don't you just solder a really long cable?
And poke it through the wall?
Where's the fun in that? Internet of Things, man.
I don't have an answer for that question.
Or just leave it on in a low power state and wake on LAN or something.
I don't know
Have
if I've
you
ever gotten
tried
Wake on
LAN?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I
It
don't know if
doesn't
I've
work
ever
all
really
that
gotten it to
well.
work. Or it wakes up
No.
when
How
it's
about
not
Wake on
supposed
USB
to.
and you just have a mouse on your wall with the
Look.
cable going through it?
This guy wanted to solder.
Click the mouse, baby.
The guy wanted to solder.
You
He
guys
had a
are no fun.
breadboard. He wanted to do stuff. There you go. End of story. Very neatly done, I will say.
Yeah.
Good job.
Some people still make things, Josh.
Yeah, this is a really long story for
Yeah.
for just
They go
turning
into
on-
the science of how wireless technology works, and
Ugh, how many pages I got left? Okay.
If you make a cable, it's just one page. You can't get ad impressions for that.
Yeah, I don't think that's the reasoning for it. But hey,
That is not a new case. I'm telling
No.
you right now.
No. I still gotta say hooked in the
That looks
power.
like one of
Josh,
those cheap
is this
tech,
your
Antec.
case?
I've had so many of those.
it's got front USB though, dog.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
And a card reader.
wait a minute.
the card
USB
reader.
1.1, baby.
Oh, that's good stuff. All right. And what else we have? We have I guess was this new information that Andy was going to sell the Wraith Max CPU cooler separately from
I
the
thought they already were, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I guess not.
So
No,
I think
it
I
was
got
all-
corrected on Twitter that there's the Wraith
Wraith
Spire, and then there's one below that I think is what was shipping with the Ryzen 3s. I think somebody was correcting me on
Yes,
that.
the Wraith POS.
No, that's not
Yeah,
very
No,
nice.
it means point of sale.
Oh, okay. No, I get it. Yeah. No,
The
not
Wraith,
great.
Wraith Max. Yeah, the Wraith Max is a nice cooler. We've used it for a couple things around the office.
Plus, it's got an RGB
Yeah.
ring.
Yeah, I don't think the RGB is RGB controllable. Yeah, motherboard software. So I guess only if you have
An
Ryzen.
AMD platform.
Well,
I have
you wouldn't be
I
able
have
to
a
mount it
question.
to anything else. But if you have an
No,
AM3
true.
platform, it wouldn't work. Like
Is the standard Wraith software upgradable to a Wraith Max with an in-app purchase? And if not, why not?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. So there are four. There's Wraith Stealth, Wraith Spire, Spire with RGB, and then Wraith Max.
oh,
Okay,
I
so
didn't
the
know Spire
Stealth
with
is what
RGB
was shipping.
existed.
The Wraith Stealth is what ships with the Ryzen 3s in the box. It's still a plenty good part. No complaints there from us. But there is a Spire RGB, and then the Wraith Max.
What are
Which I think.
$60 for this cooler? Yeah, you shouldn't buy that.
I mean, it's okay.
You could buy a
Wait, did Josh, did you or Sebastian, did you guys actually test this at some point?
not this one.
I tested the
No.
original Wraith.
Do you know
That's
how many
with one of the
Evo
FX.
you can
What's
buy? 212 Evos?
You could buy
For
at least
$60.
two for that
The answer
price.
is two.
2.
And you could buy one and an RGB strip,
3 on
and there
sale.
you go.
Josh, how many RGB strips does the 212 Evo have? I'll take your answer offline.
Zero.
Answer is 0.
Break out the soldering iron. There you go.
Yeah.
Checkmate.
You know, people actually make things, Ken.
Ah, touche. The Wraith Max is rated at 140 watts. So that would they let the Threadripper is 180, so it wouldn't matter.
It wouldn't
Okay.
mount also.
Well, sure. If people still make things, Ken, you could probably strap that down if you really needed to in an emergency situation.
You might be able to strap it on, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Zip
no.
ties. and
Just
whatnot.
hold it
You
in
wanna-
place
yeah.
over the CPU
Yeah,
if it's
you just-
that big
you
of an
just-
emergency.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to peg
Sometimes
the
you can't
CPU.
replace the human touch.
Oh, good God. Is this thing over yet?
Oh, it's close. It's close. Look at the left-hand side of the screen. It's close.
For better cooling, you supply more pressure.
It's mostly like bleeding. I don't.
Oh, why?
One last bit of here. LaCie announced a 96 terabyte NAS, 12 bay NAS,
Only 96 terabytes.
available in 48, 72, 96, and 120 terabyte varieties. So I don't know why Jeremy maxed out the story at 96, all having a dozen 3.5-inch bays for your drives. As you can see in the photo, it's not exactly a small thing. It actually looks like a freestanding rack mount server.
Oh, it's not that big.
No, but I mean, if you didn't know the scale of the trays that are coming out, you thought those were U-mount servers. Apparently, Kit Guru did a review of this, measured speed of 2.2 gigabytes per second for RAID 0 and for RAID 5.
Thunderbolt 3.
Yeah, I mean, you got to at that point, right? So it's got to be up there.
We plan
Cost-wise, 8,300 pounds. So that's like what?
That's very heavy.
Is that like $6? Is that like $12?
I don't know.
So it's like, what is that really, $5,000 or something like that? $4,000, $5,000?
8,300 pounds?
Yeah.
That's
like 16,000.
what?
Did I go the wrong way?
No.
No, you
No.
didn't.
The pound is not that much higher than $1 right now. It's like $1.10 a pound. Okay, so
It
yeah,
would
you're
be
looking about $9,000.
$10,790 US.
788.
That sounds like a lot. Yeah, I would buy. I would probably not buy
spoiler
that.
alert: we are building a 128 terabyte network storage device for significantly cheaper than that in this office. Stay tuned.
It doesn't look that cool.
We haven't built it
It's got
yet.
that
How
blue.
do you know what it looks
it's
like?
got that blue eye in the upper hand corner that makes it look like it's an AI keeping track of us.
That's worth at least $2,000.
At least. All right, everybody, that's going to wrap up the news part. Let's get into our hardware, software picks of the week. Mine is going to be this guy right here, the ThinkPad X1 Carbon 5th Gen, that actually has a 7th Gen processor in it. So they should maybe think about readjusting that. It's a laptop I've been using for the last couple of weeks after being kind of tired with the results of my Dell XPS 13 that battery died and tried to do a replacement. And it just didn't work out. The battery didn't die. It just is significantly
Degraded.
lower battery life than it used to have. And so it's nice to go back to one where, like, if I leave the charger here at the office and I'm going to go home for a few hours and come back the next morning, it's fine, right? I don't have to worry about that. And apparently I can lay it
Hey,
flat.
there we
too.
are.
Hey, that's us. Look, you're about ready to bend the thing back. Inception. It's an expensive device. Yes, it says it's starting at 1101. But you know,
the X1 has always been more expensive than the.
So you can see
similar
here these
hardware
build out
counterparts.
starts 1100, 1250, and then 1956 all of a sudden. And the difference is you're getting the i7 processor, and you also what else you get? Double the memory, you get 1 terabyte SSD in it.
That's the big one.
It's okay. 57 watt hour battery, so not a huge battery. It's still a very thin device. It's still very light. It's not a touch screen. It's 1080p, which is actually all of those things are what I wanted. I don't want it to be super reflective. I don't want it to have the extra weight of the touchscreen interface. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed going back to a Lenovo keyboard. Like a Lenovo keyboard for typing is still kind of unrivaled in that regard. So if you're in the market to buy, it's worth looking at.
Lenovo Outlet's nice. These machines have been out for a while, so you might be able to find something.
Yeah, that's true. Even when I was looking at the new XPS 13s, we were looking at the Dell outlet for that as well. So something worth keeping in mind. So this is the Core i5 variant, I think, right?
Yes.
So it's even the i7 is still 2-core, 4-thread, 8 gigs, 256 gig SSD, plenty for what my purposes are, except my Dropbox is now a little bit bigger than it needs to be. But
2 Thunderbolt 3 ports, which is nice because you can charge and do stuff at the same time.
Yep, 2 Thunderbolt 3. It's still got 2 full-size USB 3.0, full-size HDMI, and then that weird networking dongle port or whatever it is. So nice. One thing I would like to see on this that like the Surface has, the Surface Pro, is the Windows Hello. I've come to really appreciate that login option on my PC and on that laptop.
I have to imagine that a lot of corporate policy wouldn't allow it, so they just don't even bother.
Really? Facial recognition for security? Because it has a fingerprint sensor, and it works like every third time. So, it's the such is life. All right, so who do we got next on this list?
Who do you think?
Not Jeremy. Must be
Not
Josh.
Jeremy.
All right, what do you got, buddy?
Yeah, this one
put in
came
my
out
birthday.
yesterday. Hellblade. Senua's, what is it? Senua's Dead.
I remember this demo.
Sacrifice.
Yeah.
You know, I've watched some of the developer blogs on these things, and the amount of technology they put together to make this was really impressive. And it's only $30. It's only 7 to 10 hours worth of play. I don't know about replayability, but it's a small group. It's like 20 or 30 people who worked on this, and they essentially made a AAA title. They implemented a lot of really advanced technology to do this. It looks pretty fantastic. It apparently has a great story. Yeah, it's just the
demo
it
Ken
looks
and
like
I saw was part of the facial capture, like they did. They did.
Yeah, well,
live
the gal
actor
had the lights around her face and the cameras, and they followed her eyes and the mouth really well, and facial features.
It was
pretty
super
amazing.
impressive. I'm going to buy this just so I can see some of that tech at work.
Interestingly enough, Brian and I listened to the Giant Bombcast, and they started talking about this game this week, and I didn't remember the name of the title versus the game that we saw at GDC 2 years ago. So I was thinking like, oh, this indie game, like I was thinking like, more simplistic graphics, like maybe a 2D game or something like this, and it's this. So now I'm super excited, like a really good looking game, and they were talking about how like the story and the gameplay are pretty cool.
Might have a new AMD video card to test it on. Play with it on.
Yeah. I think Jacob was talking to me. There's no single video card that can get close to 60 frames per second at 4K with this.
Good.
There you have it.
Good. This is from the makers of Heavenly Sword, Enslaved Odyssey to the West, and Devil May Cry. And DMC, Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
Comes a warrior's brutal journey into myth and madness. Very cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it was it's built on the Unreal Engine. They were as are most things these days, I guess.
Yeah, I guess what you need to do is you play it in a dark room and you have headphones, because it's got really, really good spatial audio. Like absolutely amazing, apparently.
Wait. Headphones, you say?
Headphones. Unless you got a good 5.1 system with rear surrounds.
Maybe headphones like these?
Ken, what is your pick of the week?
So my pick of the week are these headphones.
Sony MDR 1000X/B.
Yeah. So I was going on a trip back in May, a long plane ride over the Atlantic, and I wanted to get some noise canceling headphones. So it was like the day before. I just wanted them. I decided it at last minute. I went into Best Buy and I was like, "Please, kind sir, point me to your Bose Quiet Comfort Bluetooth headphones." Because I have an iPhone 7 without a headphone jack, whole nother thing, But I figure noise canceling headphones, Bose. Okay, there we go. And the salesman, actually very helpful, went, "Okay, they're over here. But have you seen the Sonys?" I go, "No. I've never heard of Sony making noise canceling headphones." And they actually had a demo station set up, so I sat there and tried both the Sony and the Bose for a while, and I ended up getting the Sonys. They do a couple cool things. They have the ability to mix in ambient sound. So if you're wearing the headphones and you hold your hand on the right ear cup, which is touch sensitive, it will instantly cut in audio. It hears through the mic. So if you're on a plane, you see the flight attendant coming towards you for a drink order or something like that, you just put your hand over the ear. You look kind of stupid, but
do you
go
like this? Do you go, "Roger, what's that? Come in, please"?
You pretty much feel like that the entire time.
Just making sure.
So that's cool.
That makes it better in my book.
And then they also have settings where you can just mix in like 2 different levels of ambient noise all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I wear them around the office, and I turn off the noise canceling feature, and since they seal pretty well, I'll turn on ambient noise so I can hear if you're trying to get my attention or something like that. So I have Bluetooth headphones I can walk around the office in, and they sound pretty nice. I think they sound a little better than the Bose stuff, a little more.
Is there a wired option for them, or are they only wireless?
They have a 3.5 inch.
Okay.
3.5 millimeter jack as well.
3.5 inch.
Yeah, 3.5 inch jack. Yeah.
That's one of those things that Hugh would probably like. He wants to talk to somebody. He hits the side of his.
Hello.
Colonel Shepard.
Roger Bacon.
Yeah. And so they charge through micro USB. They're very expensive at retail. So when I bought
link to the certified refurb on Amazon.
When I bought them at Best Buy, they were $400. And hey, guess what? I had the plan to just return them after my flight because I wasn't buying a $400 pair of headphones and keeping them. That's too bougie for me. So right now on Amazon New, they're like $328, which is a little better. But you can do what I did and buy the certified refurbished ones, which are $260 on Prime right now. And I think that's about what I paid for them back.
You know, I bought a pair of JVC ones with AAA battery that worked pretty well for $29.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, Josh.
I will say I've been impressed with Sony's noise canceling headphones for years, and even their cheap ones, which I looked up, are the ZX110s. The only problem with them is they don't seal really well against the ear, but the noise cancellation and it uses a single AAA battery like Josh's JVCs, works extremely well at blocking out the background hum and a lot of the ambient noise, but you can still hear like the sounds that are not constant. You'll still hear like somebody talking to you or something.
Right.
Doesn't block that stuff out. But as they go up the line with the Sonys and the cups get bigger, the seal is better, then it's just that much better. But Sony actually a very good brand for noise canceling headphones.
Yeah. I was very surprised to see how they kind of nailed the noise canceling tech when, again, like you think of Bose as being the only game in town for higher end noise canceling stuff.
All right, Sebastian, your pick.
Well, now that I look at it, apparently you can't buy this, so it's not a good pick. Because everywhere I'm looking, it's like out of stock.
Yeah.
It lets me add it to the cart, but it's also out of stock.
It does say temporarily out of stock. Order now, we'll deliver
So
when
temporarily
available.
out of stock.
Yeah.
But it's the replica of the original USS Enterprise 1701A featured in PC Perspective Podcast 462. There's PC per podcast battle damage and some special decal work that was done just for this podcast.
You can now sell that as a screen use prop.
The list of sound quotes include such magical quotes as "on screen, magnify." See if I get it
Can
right.
you hear?
My friends, we've come home. What's the matter, Jim? I miss my old chair.
See, it's got
Why
all
is that
sorts of
ship
sound
talking?
clips.
I was gonna say those quotes aren't actually on this page, so there's that. So it's just it's a subset thereof. $60 for that. Do you feel like you get your money's worth?
I do, because I don't want to build a model myself. I've always been terrible at that. And then you look into like the lighting kits for models.
Yeah.
And I love the movie version of the classic Enterprise, the refit, and this one. And the nicest feature about this is if you hold down the bridge button, it just has like an always-on lighting mode.
Hey, show them the light on that. Let's see.
So for
Flip over
presentation purposes, let me do it again. It only lasts for a few seconds. I'm not sure why there's not a constant on. There should be. But let me see if I can center this here.
You know, it always made me mad when I watched, the original Star Trek movie that had the best warp core effect with the watery kind of plasma glow. And then you had Star Trek The Next Generation where it's just neon rods. I hated that. It was so cheesy.
They just stretched it. They did that stretch effect. Me going to warp.
I don't know what's going on.
No, I'm talking the warp core itself. You know what it's... Anyway.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
well-
I liked it when it glowed in Next Generation.
They're just
It was
neon
a good effect.
strips.
It glows
It's
really
crap.
bright, and then the ship takes off.
Yeah, but plasma is like, it's water, man. Well, it's not. It's plasma because it's plasma. It's not neon strips.
Josh,
Speak to the hand.
It's suspension of disbelief. Just roll with it.
Josh, let me consult my Star Trek The Next Generation technical manual, and I'll get back to you on the exact rationale behind the change.
Yeah.
I did have one
Sure.
more pick. It came from Alan. It came in late. His recommendation was any kind of fire extinguisher that you might have, maybe one that's portable. Probably can't take fire extinguishers on planes with you necessarily, but it would have been useful at the Flash Memory Summit, where or you can get the fire extinguishing aerosol spray pack of 2. There you go. So that's something you might
Just ship it ahead.
Right. Apparently, what was it? The booth that wasn't Seagate. It was Inno something. InnoDisc.
Yeah.
Booth caught fire overnight, and so they never opened the
Exhibit
hall at Flash Memory Summit. So can't wait to see some of the fallout from that. That'll be interesting.
So, just burning PCBs. That's fine, right?
Yeah, apparently
no toxic
there was no more
chemicals.
fire, but there was a lot of toxicity concerns of how lead-free exactly are your products. So There you go. All right. So that's going to be it for the episode today, guys. PCPer.com/podcast. Go there, find our links to YouTube videos, RSS files, show notes with links to all the stories we talked about, including the Threadripper story that will be up now by the time you're listening to this,
Sure,
except
why
for the
not?
live people, the many hundreds of you that are on there now. Sorry about that. And otherwise, we will come back and we'll see you next week for another riveting episode with more AMD hardware to talk about. So we'll see you next time, guys. Bye.
It's
wait.
this-
Threadripper promised more AMD hardware to talk about.
It's like never ending. I feel like I'm almost ending it though. We're almost at the end.
They're going to come out with something.
No,
Just-
stop it.
They're gonna come out with more SSDs,
Oh,
Radeon branded SSDs that you
It's
want.
fine.
to
I don't have
test.
to deal with those. I can make Alan deal with those.
Is that Alan's desk I see behind Alex there?
No,
That's appalling. He needs to clean that up.
Which one are we talking about?
The wide shot.
I know, but what
looks
desk?
like an avalanche of boxes.
Well, to be fair,
No,
That is Alan's desk.
yeah, he likes to be in a cubicle, but we don't have cubicles, so he built a cubicle out of
He just
cardboard
built
boxes
Out of empty
for himself,
boxes.
right? You know.
Wow.
So yeah, everybody's got to have their own little quirks, right? His is he likes being in tiny spaces.
Mine is just, a low level of alcoholism. Highly functional.
Hey, if you're
You
functional,
are
you're
a
not an
very
alcoholic.
high-functioning alcoholic.
Hmm.
Josh.
Yeah, I think that's how that works.
Mine is I like to wear headsets that look pink on the podcast.
It looks red.
Pink.
Your face
it's
looks more
pink.
pink
I think
than
it brings
the
out the
headset.
red in my face.
Yeah, it might do that. I will say those are the 533s.
Yeah.
The mic does sound good.
Now you know how much I had to pot down the mic because it's that hot.
It's so hot.
Fire burning.
But
Hot pot.
it doesn't
Hot
have
pot
the empty tinny sounds of previous Logitech headsets that I've used for that type
Yeah,
of stuff.
because remember the older ones that I reviewed a couple of years back that I used those and
they were awful.
yeah, the mic was
They were
crap.
bad for
It was
podcasting.
the G35s, I think.
Yeah, whatever that generation was had a god awful
Yeah.
mic on it.
The mic is way, way better on this, but I've noticed it's actually far better analog than it is digital.
Hmm.
Hmm.
For whatever reason, the analog gain from the PC makes it sound a lot better than just
Analog
using the
audio is
USB.
just so much warmer.
It is.
So you're saying we need to replace all this gear with tube gear?
Yeah, your ADC and that little thing probably just sucks.
Probably that.
Bug, where there
No,
will
it's
be
just-
no surprise
you know what I'm saying?
QuakeCon announcements. Sorry, buddy. Patriot says I should give Alan foam walls. Let's see.
I think that's a great idea. We can do
I
that
got a
before he gets
3D
back.
printer and a lot of time.
Alan
much
should just
filament
wear a
do you
VR
have, though?
headset and be in a virtual cubicle
That's true. He could
while
do
he's
that.
working.
He could do that.
An
know
office
what?
simulator.
Anthony asked about the mic on these headphones, and I actually have no idea what it sounds like.
What?
Those nice
What?
flip flops, Alex.
Thanks.
I'm wearing slippers.
Josh was asking about our ADC. That's where it is. Down there.
No, you're talking about the shitty one in
I was talking
Sebastian's
about
headphones.
Sebastian's ADC in his the
You know
USB
me.
ports that he has the ability to do analog and digital, which is French for really loud.
Fake gamer guy wants to know what capture card we use for the videos.
You don't you don't want to.
Depends
Blackmagic
it depends
Quad
for
2.
what. We use Blackmagic Quad 2 and we use a DataPath card for
And the Blackmagic Intensity or Blackmagic Decklink 4K also.
Yeah, that's in the broadcast box.
Which one has the black
The
box
editing machine
has
has the 4K one.
the
in it.
4K one.
Yeah. Buy an AfroMedia card. Don't buy the crap we buy.
Well, it works if you throw a whole bunch of airflow on it.
Have we ranted
It needs
about that
active
card
cooling.
before? Probably.
Better active cooling.
It needs a water block on it.
It does. It really does.
Make it so.
What was the thermal limit?
You need an LN2
105.
pot on that damn thing.
Fahrenheit.
Yeah, 105 Fahrenheit.
Ugh.
Like, add more cooling. It's like, lady,
On
I
the
got
capture
I
like
feel like
card.
there's
3
got to be a
fans on it.
mistake.
Nope.
No,
They meant
no.
C. They
No.
had to be.
No.
No, they did
It had
not.
to mean C.
We
It-
clarified it 3 times.
And it screws up at 100.
105
Like
every time.
there's no wiggle room for it either.
Nope.
Like once it crossed it, we saw flickering on all of our channels. Let's see. Needs 4 1080p 60 inputs. Decklink Duo 2 is my only option. I don't know.
The original Decklink quad, not the 2, we didn't have the heating issues with, and would give you 4 inputs. So you can find one of those, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So yeah, if anybody who joined us late, we talked about Threadripper, the review for Threadripper before we actually went live tonight. So we did not stream it because the embargo is in the morning. So if you rewatch or re-listen to the podcast tomorrow, it will have, after 9 a.m., it will have the Threadripper discussion in it, right? So that was the accommodation we made for this one. So I think the Vega launch day is a known quantity, right?
I don't know. We probably shouldn't.
Not happy about it.
Yeah, I don't think that's known.
You don't think so?
Let's not test the waters.
Whatever. Super over it. But yeah. All right. Anything else going on? Anything else interesting? How was your Chex Mix?
Got that rash cleared up.
Ooh, good.
Yeah.
Good. On this page, Threadripper overclocking results. Hide that from view. Don't everybody look?
I mean,
screen
that's
cap.
probably not an embargo.
what-
You could
what is that
overclock in Area
thing,
51, right?
Sebastian?
Oh, you noticed the phone I held up to the camera. It's my HP Pre 3.
Ooh.
No veer?
No, this is the semi-unreleased final version of the Pre.
Well, yeah, that's right. Man.
It was going to be an
Whatever.
AT&T exclusive, and they canceled it.
Yeah, it's probably
Now
good
it
move
lives
on
on
their
in
part.
televisions.
What was the tablet that they fire saled and people bought and it was awful still?
The BlackBerry?
That too.
Yeah. No, that became the Amazon Kindle Fire, Ryan.
Yeah, the original
Did it really?
Kindle
Fire.
Playbook.
Yeah. We have both the Playbook and the Kindle Fire together somewhere in this office.
What
Yeah.
was the name of the
In the same
HP
sleeve.
WebOS tablet? I can't remember.
Yeah. Oh.
Bad.
Because people
Oh, it has
eventually
the HP tablet. That's right. That's
TP.
what it was.
It's the HP TP.
because they were sold on fire sale, so many people bought them for like $30 that they eventually ported Android to it just because there were so many so many people had it and were hacking away on it.
I had a Palm Pre.
Yeah, you have the
I
original
still
one
have
somewhere
the
around
original
here.
one, yeah.
I remember watching
Wireless
the live
charging?
stream of Leo, who got one of the first Palm Pre's. He was going through it, and it was a big step up
It
from
was.
pretty
I
much
loved
everything
it.
else.
I loved it. And it had wireless charging. Apple's going to reinvent wireless charging in September, so it's fine that we all forget that the Palm Pre had it. It will work freaking identically.
Hey, you know what else had wireless charging? The Nexus 4.
Oh, was it called the Touchpad? That's a bad name.
It sounds right.
Yeah. Well, that's still a bad name.
There's a lot of bad names
Yeah.
in the PC world.
iPad is a
in fact,
bad
most
name.
of the time. Yeah. Yeah, it is.
It's
Yeah,
the
I did have a
internet
BlackBerry.
pad,
I had lots of BlackBerries actually.
I used your BlackBerry.
I had monochrome Blackberries, and then I had the color. What was the first? I had like the first full size color one, and then I got like the first one they tried to make skinny. That didn't have a
Pearl?
QWERTY. It didn't have
The
a QWERTY
Pearl?
keyboard. No, it was before the Pearl.
Wow.
It had like a V shape to it. I still have that somewhere too. I remember I was in college when I got it, and everybody trying to figure out what the hell it was. When we were on a bus going to a formal in St. Louis, driving from Lexington to St. Louis. It was an odd.
I like your stories about cheating at pub quiz.
Yeah, before people understood that Blackberries were a thing and you could get online, and I had these early ones, we would go to, bars where they had like, hey, winner of this trivia contest gets their bar tab paid for. And we're like, well, we're poor college kids, so this is way more important than I thought it was going to be. And so I just like used Google. Now, it was very slow, and so if you didn't Google correctly to get like a pop-up, the answer and like the first result, the timer would expire before you could really use it. But it was definitely a helpful thing.
They're a little bit more militant about that these days at bar trivia.
And they should be.
Yeah.
And they should be. Now, when we all have AR headsets and it doesn't matter, as soon as they say the question, the answer shows up in our headset, it's not going to...
Well, there is the fun part of activating, like, Google Assistant as they're reading the question and seeing if it can answer.
Yeah, like saying, hey, Siri, and holding that up and see if it answers the question.
But Siri sucks, so use Google Assistant. You suck.
We all suck.
Even say.
Couldn't even get that.
I have the British dude, not the British lady, so.
You can have the British lady.
Huh?
You can have the British lady.
You would. You would.
Yeah.
Anything else, Josh, Sebastian? Anything exciting going on in your world that you want to mention real fast?
Josh?
I've got another wheel review in 2 weeks after a motherboard.
All right.
Is the
Exciting.
motherboard on a current socket?
It's a what?
Is it a current socket?
Well, no.
I thought you were maybe
Not the
finishing out the
motherboard.
AM3.
Yeah, I'm finishing it out. It's the last AM3 review that we'll probably do.
Wait, are you being serious?
Yeah.
Okay. I would hope it would be the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get an 8350 pretty cheap these days.
Yeah, like 129 with a $20 MIR.
Yeah.
I'm curious how that compares to like the Ryzen 3s that are 129.
Yeah, I started
Ryzen-
doing
Yeah.
that. I started doing that benchmarking, but I got busy.
You finished all the benchmarking, didn't you?
Not all of it.
Yeah.
I got about halfway done.
Better.
You better.
I've got some coolers I'm finishing up tonight. FSP has gotten into the cooler game.
Oh,
Well-known maker of power supplies, but got a couple tower coolers in, finished testing those, got those results ready, so that'll be soon. Various projects in the works, more keyboards, more cases, more coolers upon coolers, and some other mini, like another mini PC, all sorts of stuff in the works.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm taking notes on what you guys are telling me. I just was looking for something to do.
Brian's like, well, on podcast 462, you promise.
I'm mentally drained, is what it is. So.
It's been a long day.
Damn it, Josh.
been
A
a
December
long-
release of an AM3
several
motherboard
weeks.
is just not appropriate for...
I need to get through next week. Or this coming, like, to Wednesday. I need to get to Wednesday. Excuse
When you
All
go
right,
on
we're done.
vacation.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right.
All right. That's it, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks, Sebastian, for filling in last minute.
No problem.
Thanks for joining us early, Josh.
Bye, everybody.
Bye,
I
chat
miss
room.
you.
Oh, I miss you guys.
Good
more.
night.
I love.
Bye.